just talking to like real people in the industry, not the loud people that are like gloating on Facebook about being, a $50 million company and things. I really try to stay pretty quiet in regard to all this, the success that we found. Like, I really don't want to be one of the ones that are the loud ones or one of the guys that are gloating or anything like that. And the only reason I'm here with you is because, like, I hired you to do my website. I have a great deal of respect for you, and
Thank you.
I think you do a lot of really good work for
Appreciate that.
not only like the companies that hire you, but you bring a lot of value to the industry as a whole.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Leads podcast. And today I've got Jon Starry on from Steadfast Roofing. How you doing, brother?
I am great, Tim. I'm super excited to be here, man.
Yes, sir. Well, you said, am I not supposed to talk about numbers? Because you went from to 8 figures in 3 years. That's pretty incredible. What are some things that am I allowed to say that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. That's nuts. I think anyone could hope for that, right? Like you scaled very fast. So what are some things
Good.
that like you would recommend to somebody who is trying to go to 8 figures in 3 years? Uh, what would you say would make it the more likely? More likely if you do these three things.
Man, I had been planning on starting my company for 2+ years before I ever really took the leap to do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I knew how I wanted things to go. I knew how I wanted things to be communicated somewhat, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I kind of had everything kind of mapped out and drawn out and designed and everything that I wanted. Literally, the last thing that I had picked before I started my company was actually the name that I wanted to name my company. I
Mm.
didn't want to name it like Starry Roofing or anything like that because
Mm-hmm.
it's not, something that's really very memorable. But literally, I decided on the name of my company at like a discipleship group with some of my church guys, and like I thought that it really fit, especially for what roofing is and what a roof does for somebody's home, and I just ran with it, man. But just big thing I would say is just don't jump right into it just because you think you can.
Mm.
Take a little bit of time and plan things out, and then go for it.
Mm-hmm. How long is long enough to do that plan? Like, do you think 6 months would be a long enough time to prepare? Join us January 5th through the 7th at Oklahoma City Convention Center for RoofCon 2026. It's going to be amazing. I hear there's somebody special that's going to be keynoting there. I'm going to be speaking. It's going to be really, really fun. And the best part is not even the speakers at events like this. Bringing the roofing industry together, talking about all the most cutting edge technologies and new methods, the best people in the industry sharing great information as well as having community. That's what it's all about, having community and creating relationships. So join us. That's January 5th through the 7th at Oklahoma City Convention Center.
I I'm a very analytical kind of guy, right? Like even still to this day, I'm still tweaking some of like our speed to lead campaigns and like our follow up campaigns, and um, I don't think you're ever gonna stop making tweaks. But in regard to at least getting enough of a basic plan in place, like I don't know if I could even put a time frame on that. Like I'm sure some people are a little bit less analytical than I am. Maybe somebody could get it done in a month. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
just
I think there's
there's a
just,
lot more
yeah.
to owning a roofing company than just the sales side of things. And
Yeah.
all
I would
those
like to
things
think
can
about
be.
like planning for us, like as a my company, layers of leadership and stuff like that. I prepare and I prepare before the preparation and I prepare before that preparation for that preparation. You know what I mean? Like, so for instance, like full company kickoff for the quarter, which is kind of preparing for the quarter, we do a we go through it once, a dry run before that, and then we do like a whole strategy day with the leadership team. And then before the strategy day with the leadership team, sometimes I'll do it with one other person. I'll do it a day, and then sometimes before that, I'll have like a whole day to myself to just like prepare for that. Because I'm like trying to aim before I aim before I aim, but it all happens kind of quick. In the course of a month, I can do a lot of preparing. But with a whole new company, there's a lot of moves you can make. You got to get the office, you got to do the Google business profile. You got to like make sure you're in the right area, right? I'm thinking about affluent neighborhood, but like in an area, like I'm thinking about an area where there's a lot of people within a 5 mile radius. I'm thinking about the 5 mile famous thing. I want to be in an area where there's at least 150,000 people within that 5 mile radius. And I want it to be in an area where the homeowners are somewhat affluent. That would be my ideal because I want the bigger roofs and I want them to have a little lower. And I know that sometimes rich people can be slower with their pocketbook, but I'm saying like on average, you're going to get a little bit more money quicker from richer people versus less rich people. What are some things that were like moves like that you're like, this is a good move. I'm glad I prepared. I'm glad I thought about this one.
So man, like whenever I first got rolling with everything, like my GMB, like even still to this day, is literally in a residential area that we live. Now that doesn't mean that that's where we operate out of, but again, I mean, the reason why it's been impactful and I think it kind of helped our trajectory as much as it did is because like all of our comp all of our competition is basically fighting over the big cities like Tampa, right? And then we have another big city just south of us, Sarasota. And we're like nestled right in the middle of both of those where all the people actually live, right? So when they do those searches like roofer near me, I mean, we are gonna pop up on that map pack pretty darn quickly without like really having a whole lot of much of anything really going on with our online presence and things just because of where we are in location to where they live, right? Um, so like meanwhile, while all these guys are up there focusing on fighting for Tampa, I'm gonna be down here in like Riverview, just eating up all the stuff from where people actually live, right?
Yeah.
Um, so
I like that.
I
I like the
think
idea of like being on a residential cluster, not focusing on a major metropolitan, like residential cluster, somewhat affluent. Was that all like did you think about that a lot when you first started or just happy accident?
I did. Um, but again, I mean, I was thinking about a lot of things before I actually got rolling on everything. Um, But like I just knew the number of people that actually lived in like this whole South Shore area, like Apollo Beach, Riverview, Waimama, Sunset. Like there's just so many people that live here, and you got like a mix of people. Like young parents or first time homeowners. Like you got elderly people just south of us and things. Like we're trying to hit them all, and we're right smack dab in the middle of where all these people live.
Mhm.
So it worked out pretty darn well.
Talk to me
I
about a
would say
few
I'm
other things that are like preparatory moves.
What's that?
Talk to me about a few other things that are like preparatory moves that you're like, that turned out really well. So, like the folks that really want to
Yeah.
do that 8 figures in 3 years are more likely to do it if they did it for themselves.
So, in regard to actually even having a need for a production team and things, right? Whenever I first got going, like it was pretty much just me and one sales guy that actually came over with me and things. But the big thing that I had in place was like a really, really solid sales presentation and things. Um, some things that outlined what set us apart from other people. Even though we were a new company, we had things that actually gained us a bit of you know trust with people right out the gate, like offering a directory guarantee, right? even if we were out of business and things, if they paid for a directory guarantee, like I never really subscribed to the whole idea of like manufacturer warranties and
Mm-hmm.
them taking over like workmanship issues and whatnot. But the directory guarantee, if I went out of business next year, they're still going to be covered if they actually paid for that directory guarantee, right? So if longevity was important to them, we could kind of tackle that right then and there. And we had a presentation that was focused around, what all they are actually getting. Like it didn't provide like a line by line breakdown of like all the different components because end of the day nobody really cares how many boxes of nails or how many sticks of drip edge are actually going to be used on their project, right? End of the day what they want to know is the actual material that's actually being used on that project. What type of underlayment is being used? What brand of starter? What brand of hip and ridge? What brand of shingle? What type of ventilation you're going to install? And touching on those things and educating people, like that was the biggest thing that I wanted to make sure that I had in place. Um, the production side of things, again, I mean, it was pretty easy up front because it was just me kind of overseeing all that stuff. But I was the one letting people know about, if there was any change orders or anything like that, any kind of wood that was needing to be used, any additional carpentry, any kind of issues that we ran into. They were being communicated to them like right out the gate. But then as we grew, I couldn't handle wearing all those hats and things, right? So one of the biggest and best hires I've made is bringing on a guy named Franklin. He oversees all of our production team, makes sure that the crews have everything that they need on site. And then after the job is finished, he's picking up all the additional materials, taking drone photos, and that way we can get those things posted right online and showing people what kind of work we do.
Yeah, I love that, man. Um, Anything else that you feel like was like particularly supportive to that big chunky first couple years versus like a lot of guys. My thing is like ideally you come out swinging, dude. Like right, you got to come out swinging because I think that if it takes you 5 years to get your first 10. I'm not trying to be mean, dude, because a lot of people are watching this. This will be the case, but I'm just saying, like, if I was starting a roofing company, I want to go as quickly as I possibly can to establish the baseline, and then like we can go up from there. But I think 10 is great. Like I don't think you even have to go past that far past 10 for it to be like an amazing lifestyle. I don't think we
No,
have to. I don't think we have to have a $20 million company. I think we all have egos, and so sure, if we go to 10, maybe we want to go to 20. But I
yeah.
don't like. What do you think is like more likely to get them there quicker? If there's anything else, top one or two more things.
So, man, I think it's kind of unfair to really like. I didn't do anything profound here, you know. We got hit with three back-to-back hurricanes. If you think about it, right?
Yeah,
Everybody's moving to Florida, so we
yeah,
have an influx of people moving down here, buying homes. A lot of these homes need new roofs, right? So there's a constant need.
yeah.
Um, Now, would it be like that in every single market? No. Not every market gets hit with hurricanes, but some markets get hit with hailstorms and things. And in those situations, I mean, you just need to make sure that the people that you're bringing on board are going to be a good representation of your company, and they're not going to fill people's heads with things that aren't going to really happen and things. I mean,
Mhm.
we need to make sure that expectations are being set in a realistic manner. And
Because we're not just talking about 10 million in the first 3 years. We're talking about 1,000 5-star Google reviews, which you're about to hit 1,000 reviews, brother.
yeah, we're like 30, 36 away, I think,
So like
something.
this is an important caveat because we didn't just scale up really quick and provide completely shitty service. You do not get 5.0 on Google reviews by providing shitty service. So you guys
No,
the matching between what was sold and what was done on average was pretty high.
yeah, and I mean, whenever I'd first gone out on my own, like I was doing a lot of my own repairs on my own, and that's how I gathered like a good number of the first like 50 reviews that we got, you know? But beyond that, though, I mean, going back to the systems and things, right? So having good systems, I'm going to give a shout out to my guys at ProLine right now, right?
Yeah.
So with them, I was able to create some really fantastic post job follow ups and things. One that
Mm-hmm.
asks for reviews, and then another one that's constantly hitting them with a request for referrals, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are going to forget about you. And I want their experience to be really, really good from the start. But I also want to drop those subtle reminders like every month or two to, hey, if you guys know anybody that maybe is in need of a new roof, we would love if you referred them to us, And, you know, my sales guys are all trained to kind of ask for that, like, you know, during the initial appointment, during the job as it's going on, and during final walkthroughs and payment collections and things like that, right? We want to make sure that they had a 5-star experience, and we want to be asking that from the very get go. Because if people are super happy, they're going to refer more people over to us. But we're trying to actually tweak that to a point where we're getting more of that referral business. I think that's one thing that like I'm really kind of making it my mission to improve on this year is just figuring out how we can kind of get more business out of the existing customer base that we already have out there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right. So you suggest ProLine.
100%.
Tell me a little bit more about that. What do you like about that? There's a lot of options out here for CRMs, right? And like a lot of people use Job Nimbus. And a lot of people like the OG is AccuLynx, so maybe that one's got some features that these newer ones like ProLine or Roofer might not have. What brought you to ProLine for real, and then what's made you stay? Because yeah, you're not
So,
a small company, so
no, man. I had pretty much been with ProLine since they announced they were actually making it like a full-fledged CRM, and it has changed dramatically since its inception. But the reason why I would kind of tell people to kind of come that direction is everybody has a voice. Same way that I like to try to run my company and things. Like if somebody has a good suggestion, like I would be a fool not to listen to that, right? Especially if it had a way or something that would make an impact to the betterment of the business and things, right? But ProLine has an ideas board. We have a lot of people coming over to ProLine right now from other platforms like Job Nimbus, like AccuLynx, and a lot of these guys had really, really solid processes in place that maybe hadn't been implemented or brought into ProLine yet. But the beauty of it all is that they have a development team that basically takes those ideas and turns them into actual like full-fledged features into that CRM in a time frame that is just I haven't seen in any other CRM. And I've used pretty much all the big ones at this point. Like I've used AccuLynx, I've used Leap, I've used Job Nimbus, um, and they all just kind of feel a little restricted and clunky, right?
mm,
Um, and Proline's not pretty or anything, but you can do some really, really great stuff with it, and it's really, really powerful if you take the time to kind of implement your ideas into what it is you're trying to communicate with customers. It's a very communication centric CRM.
love to hear it. Any while we're on this topic, any other like softwares or tools that have been kind of integral in your growth, things that you use? I know that there's endless amounts of shiny objects out there, but any like other ones that have actually moved the needle for you guys or been a big deal?
Man, I mean, of course we have company cam. I don't know how any company can really survive without that stuff. But
Yeah. It seems like
really, I
most
mean,
companies use it, yeah.
my My two big ones is Company Cam and ProLine.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Company Cam, ProLine, get let's see, what else do we need? We're just making the shopping list here for our new roofing company. What else do we need here? Like we need a hook agency
Need to
website.
get a good supplier relationship.
And what's your supplier?
So our primary supplier is QXO. I would say we probably run about 95% of our ordering through them.
Yeah.
Um, and it's not because like our pricing with them has always been the best.
Okay.
It's literally because number one, they're accessible. They communicate with us. They admit fault. Like if they screw something up, they're fixing it. And
Hmm.
um, just the relationship that we have with the team over there at QXO has just been night and day better than anything we had with any of the other guys out there.
So supplier, having a good relationship, and sometimes it comes down to your local people, right? Like there's certain areas of the country where people swear by a different one, but I have heard a lot of great things about QXO.
Yeah,
Nothing has changed or been negative since they got acquired or anything. It's still a good service.
it's a silly name though.
Yeah, it's a Beacon was good. That's a good name for a company.
What? They need to
I
like
had a lot of Beacon
integrate
stock.
that original logo into the O of QXO. I think that would be
Interesting. Oh, you're
solid.
saying that's your suggestion. Okay. No, I like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a wild because Beacon is such a good, like, that's like the best name. Like, that's like a beautiful symbol, whatever. Anyways, QXO, get your shit together. No, just kidding. We love you. Let's see, what else? Thinking of this shopping list for the company. I think I'm looking at, for us, right now, I'm looking at AI answering service backup for our current one. And my plan is, and I think that maybe this is more, we're not a roofing company because I'm thinking about there's a same day.ai. They have it very down, like they have it really well down. And I think just for at least nights and weekends when there's not somebody to answer the phone, I want there to be backup. I do like human. I think human is ideal, but I think like having that backup is really good. Do you have anything like
100%.
that?
I do. Um, and mainly it's used for after hours calls, weekends calls.
Yep.
Everybody needs a break, man, you know? And,
Yep.
but yeah, primarily though, I want phone calls to be answered by an actual human.
Yep.
Um, I don't think people would get too bent out of shape if an AI agent answers the phone after, 9 p.m. at night, you know?
Yep.
But there's a time and place for it, I would say. But
There's no like
anytime
AI,
someone's really
other AI tools that you swear by or anything like that. Any other thing like you're not on Rilla or like a kind of a sales. Do you have a sales recommendation as far as coaching or consulting or anything like that? Because obviously you've done something right on sales. So just curious
yeah.
who you guys look
I
to.
literally just took six of my sales reps up to top rep in Atlanta.
Awesome.
Chuck Toki has an absolutely amazing program, and while we can't really truly implement everything that they roll out with top rep, I mean, there's just his insights on overcoming objections and gaining that trust and respect the moment that you actually approach that home. And another great one, to, like if you're an OC contractor and things, Rodney Webb.
Mm,
If you're not taking advantage of his programs and things that
top
are
rep,
offered,
Rodney
definitely
Webb.
into a Rodney Webb
And OC
University.
is OC has like a sponsorship for that or something, or like they like
Yeah,
include it in there.
some
Okay.
sort of partnership with Rodney Webb University.
If you truly believe in what you're doing and you want to be the best version of yourself and you want to build a great organization, there's no other place to do that besides the Roofing Academy.
Awesome. Yeah, there's so many masterminds and like coaching programs. I could find it to be kind of overwhelming because there's so many ways to the top, John. There's like 50, like there's so many brands of 10 million that you can find. There's a lot of ways to go there and kind of I bet you some guys are pretty overwhelmed with the amount of possible resources that they feel like people are saying, you got to get this, you got to get that, you got to get this. So
Absolutely.
like, how do we stop from doing shiny object syndrome / getting overwhelmed when there's so many things we could buy?
Man, get into a mastermind group. That's all I would say.
Mastermind group.
Talk to other talk to other roofing company owners and things.
Okay.
Like we should all be able to collaborate and talk about the issues that we're experiencing, some wins that we've had, things, and you know, if somebody found success with a marketer or anything like that, I mean, ask another roofing company owner. Unless they're in your market and things, they're probably not going to guide you wrong. Um, but that being said, though, it can also be like a double-edged sword, right? Like the marketing that works for me in my market may not work for somebody that lives like up in Southeast Ohio and things. But I know it works for me in my particular market. I know the marketing companies that I would actually recommend as far as like meta ads and things like that. And that's pretty much the only kind of marketing that I'm really doing at this point. But just talking to like real people in the industry, not the loud people that are like gloating on Facebook about being, a $50 million company and things. I really try to stay pretty quiet in regard to all this, the success that we found. Like, I really don't want to be one of the ones that are the loud ones or one of the guys that are gloating or anything like that. And the only reason I'm here with you is because, like, I hired you to do my website. I have a great deal of respect for you. And
Thank you.
I think you do a lot of really good work for
Appreciate that.
not only like the companies that hire you, but, you bring a lot of value to the industry as a whole.
Thank you.
So I
I
can't
appreciate
say
that.
that
And I am going to put
I'm
a big headline on this
everybody.
podcast. So John's not gloating. I'm gloating for John. I'm proud of you.
Appreciate
I'm
that,
proud of
man.
you. If
I
your dad
appreciate
hasn't said it in a while, just say it.
it. But
Okay, so I've got let's to hit on this master. By the way, thank you, appreciate you. The mastermind thing, like, which one are you part of?
I'm actually a part of one with Scott Tebay. He has a consulting company.
Okay.
There's also some really, really good ones. I'm a part of RSRA as well, Adam
Yeah, I was
Bensmer's
about to say
group.
that one seems like it might be good. I was like looking at that one, like that one
Yeah,
might
and
be a pretty
they
solid.
literally have owners only mastermind groups where you can bring those questions right to other company owners and things and hash it out. But,
Yeah. Any other
you know,
ones you've seen that like people reflect well on, like any other? Because I like masterminds because everyone can say, "Oh, this coach sucks." That coach. There's a lot of negativity around coaches, but I feel like masterminds kind of circumvents that because it's like we're sharing with each other.
not everybody needs a coach, man. Like I have
Yeah.
I have really really good people in my backyard. Like Robin Shearer, for example.
Yeah.
He's literally within an hour of where I am, and
Yeah.
Robin and I exchange texts and phone calls and things from time to time. Like he's a very like I swear if I was 14 years younger and like I had the brain that kid has, like I would be so much further ahead in my life right now. But I have a great deal of respect for him. But like every market is going to have people that you can kind of look up to and kind of like hit with ideas or suggestions or questions or anything, because chances are like if you're going through it, somebody else in your market has gone through it at some point too. So
Mm,
try not to make enemies of all these guys that are considered competition.
mm,
There's enough brews out there for every single one of us. um, but if you have the ability to kind of build a relationship and collaborate with others,
mm,
it's just going to make the industry better as a whole.
mm. I couldn't agree more, man. I've definitely had my moments where I've felt a lot of competitive energy, but I will say it's kind of losing energy. You know what I mean? Like
I mean,
if
you've
you're
seen that, Robin. I mean, what do you think of him, man? He's
Robin, oh,
super
he's a
intelligent, isn't he?
beast. And like the crazy part is There'll still be people. I did a tour of his office, and there'll still be people like, man, I got this. We got this. It's
Right.
like this company. I don't remember who it was. I'm not like, who cares? I'm just saying the competitive energy thing, because this company that they said we did this much more than him, and we're a better company on the YouTube video. And it's probably like a rep. It wasn't the owner, because that owner's not giving a shit about what's on YouTube. But
Right.
I was like, and when did you start? And I looked it back, and they're like, they started like 1969, brother. This kid started fucking 5 years ago or whatever.
Yep.
he's rocketing to the top. So like, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Like to me, like it's people will do that to me. Like they're comparing me. They're like, oh, you're only that. I'm at 30 million as a market or 20 million as a marketing agent. I'm like, yeah, but you've been doing this since 2002. Like so to me, it's like comparing ourselves to the people that are like way further along in timeline. And dude, you and I, like as we get to the like 10 years from now, like watch what's possible. And I stopped kind of competing. Like, even when somebody like tells me something negative that like a competitor or a hater or something says, I just go, I stop when I'm in, most of the time. When I'm in the right mood, I go, hey, I really wish the best for him. I like
Yep.
honestly, I wish nothing but the best for them. Because if they're a competitor, if they're doing well, I'm doing well usually. And if they're a
Right.
hater, brother, I don't have time for that shit, man. I got too much shit going on. You know what I'm saying? We got too much
Well,
shit
they
going on.
say
We're cranking,
comparison is
bro.
the thief of joy, right?
What's
So
that?
comparison is the thief of joy, right?
That's right. And I mean, I've been there. I've compared. It's just, it's not winning energy. So
No.
I want to like as much as I possibly can try to be on winning energy, because it literally is like a frequency. I think if you're
Absolutely.
encouraging people, especially if you can encourage people in your market or nearby, and you're like, that person's a badass. Like you are on this massive winning energy. Like the people at the top are collaborating, and there's so many ways you can collaborate. I'm not saying you got to be best friends with every fucking roofing company in
No.
the area. I'm saying you got to, I think you have your little posse of two or three that you think are good, and you push stuff to each other and you push ideas to each other. Even in the same market, I think it's valuable. Not everyone can handle that amount of maturity, but some people can, and you can be friends with them.
100%.
I like where you're going with this, John. I think that that's the right vibe. I love that vibe.
Yeah. Life's too short, man. For
Yeah.
sure.
Amen. Well, thank you for being on the podcast. Where can people go to check you out if they want to like join the team or something?
Man, there's this beautiful website. If you go to steadfastroofingfl.com, you can check us out there. We're on all the social platforms, though, too: Facebook, Instagram, X, um, anywhere they want to reach out to us. And if they send me a private message or anything like that, love to have a chat with anybody.
Awesome. Thank you very much. The podcast is put on by hookagency.com, Hook Agency all over social. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate y'all. Bye.
They're so thorough with every detail of the website. Working with Hook, the design is probably 50x better than any other design I've ever had. Their team is super communicative, and I mean this genuinely. I'm happy to pay you guys to work with us. It's been a tremendous experience.